All right, so here it is, December 7th. Take 90. I do so many of these trying to cut down the time. Oh well. This one's going to be on karma yoga. Let me just pull that right up. Karma yoga at the top. And I tell you, I think this is so unbelievably powerful. I did not when I first read it. I hope this definition and then how I describe the practice of it, that you might find this much more interesting. And as you develop your path to self-realization, maybe it'll spark an interest or define something for you, but I'm surely not giving all the answers. Go read the books. That will help. So this is not the word yoga. This is not your westernized version of kind of like a stretching or an exercise. This is the word yoga, meaning to unite, to bring together like two cows or steer that are used to hoe a field. Till a field, is that the word? And so you're uniting spirit, you're uniting little s self with big S self. It's the path to self-realization. So let's go right into reading here. Karma yoga is the path of action. The practice aims to create union between the body, mind, and spirit, as well as between the individual self and universal consciousness. The Bhagavad Gita offers several approaches to liberation from suffering, to self-realization, and to connection with the divine, of which karma yoga is arguably the most practical. I find that to be completely true. Now remember, there's a path of worship, and I love that. And there's the path of knowledge, and that's fantastic, much harder. But this is really, really practical, because if you think about it, activity, our work, our doing in life is pretty much 90% of what we're doing. So if karma yoga can bring you to self-realization and freedom from suffering, one might want to pay attention. The text highlights the importance of selfless action, in which service is offered from the heart with full attention and awareness. I know I read once on it, focus is everything. If you can be focused, not on necessarily, well anyway, we'll get into that. Selfless action. He defines that a little bit here. Attachment to the outcome of one's actions is said to bring suffering. See, attachment to the outcome of one's actions is said to bring suffering, particularly when something is expected in return. Let me just give you some silly but obvious deals here. Let's say you're doing sports. You're going to run a marathon. If you're so attached on having to run a 3-hour marathon, you do a 3:01, suddenly you're unhappy. You're suffering because somebody beat you. You can become attached to actions in your business life. You can be so concerned and worried about success or failure. That's attachment to your actions. Same thing with donations. If you're expecting something in return, like a big smile or a big thanks, it's nice if they do that. But what if you do it just out of goodness and you're not expecting anything in return? In order to truly practice karma yoga, the practitioner must act with no expectations and serve others without thinking of the results. So here's a bit of a description of the model. If you think about it, I think that's beautiful. As such, karma yoga diminishes the ego. Now, this is something I never got before, never understood when I first read it. That, if you practice that way, you will have to let go of your ego. It helps to dissolve any sense of separation between the little s self and other, self, God, or consciousness. Acting in this way is believed to purify the mind and is considered the most virtuous approach to service. Incredible. So here's a bit of a definition and a bit of a model. When you're out doing things, what does it mean? Ask yourself, what does it mean? Am I attached to that result? Now I have a few little notes here, my own little take. Practice that as a model of perfection. The barriers then percolate up. Maybe this won't happen to you, it did with me. You can ask yourself, boy, am I attached to that? Why am I so hung up on this? And they will percolate up, and then you can let go of them. Be happy that the ego and the junk arrived, as you can then see it and start letting go. You see, so by practice and having your attention completely focused, not on little s self or the results, but on, some will say have attention on God. Some will say have attention on Brahman or just spirit, on consciousness. How about just being completely focused on doing the best you can, the best job, on helping and serving others? How about that? But this is the thing that I think is really, really interesting. Can there be worry, fear, or self-consciousness if there's no attention on the result or self? I mean, if you think about it, aren't worry, fear, and self-consciousness from ego and attention on self, or worry about the results? And so if you're not worried, you're just doing the best you can. If you fail, you fail. If you succeeded, you succeeded, but you're not then, attaching it all to self. Practice that, not caring for the results for self, and see what happens. Karma yoga.